guys are nice. Oh my god, but today money,
What's taking you so long? Future husband, huh? I'm getting gray up here. Birthday is in about 30 days. 38 is knocking. Hurry up.
Post-wall women always position their status this way when they're still single. So this young lady is 38 years old, and the way she's positioning it is she's still single because the man hasn't found her. And my question would be, how many suitable men have you turned down? Have you curved? How many suitable men did you put in your friend zone? Because I find it very, very hard to believe that a woman can reach 30, that a woman can reach 35, a woman can reach 38 in this example and not have had 1, 2, 3 perfectly suitable suitors that you curved because he didn't have everything, because he was 2 inches too short, because he made $10,000 less than what you said your man should make. So that would be my question to you, because this lady is not the best looking, but she's not necessarily unattractive. She might be a 6 or a 7, like cute to pretty, but you're 38 years old. Who do you think, what man do you think is looking for a 38-year-old woman for his first marriage, especially if he's looking for kids? Men your age at 38 aren't looking for 38-year-old women for their first marriage, especially if they want kids. So my question again, who did you curb to get you in a situation where you are begging for your husband to find you at 38 years old?
And I really like what he's saying, because a lot of these ladies out here will be like, oh no, I've never been in a relationship and I'm 35. I've never had a man approach me and I'm 40. And then you get to digging a little bit, or you just let them talk a little bit. And then they kind of let on that, they did have some suitors. I mean, because everybody has somebody that they're not checking for, right? We all got that. But they'll let on, actually, I did have some good people, a handful of good people, but my family talked me out of it, or my friends talked me out of it. My friends made me feel like he wasn't the one, or I shouldn't have even given him a shot, whatever it is. My dog sniffed him and my dog wasn't checking for him, that type of foolishness. So you really, honestly and truly, a lot of times ruin yourself, and it be your own fault.
Why do guys want to be chased instead of courting women now?
This intro is going to be a little bit long, but I did find it very interesting how each individual person answered this.
What I'll say is, women, you need to position yourself to be caught. There's not enough women out here positioning themselves as feminine women. I think a lot of us are the man we want to be. So some of us got to take accountability for how hard we're being so that a man actually wants to chase us.
Sarah is out here hollering. She is out here hollering. She said, I'm not in the studio anymore. I'm on 10. I'm ready. I'm sick and tired of hearing you modern women. You gonna get this work.
I think that the women can start being feminine again when the men start being masculine again. They want to be the bad now. They want to be put up. They asking you what the you bring to the table. I cannot step into my femininity until you step back into your masculinity, right?
Number one, nobody should be chasing after anyone. It should be a mutual effort on both sides. A lot of dudes, if we're gonna keep it real, they saw years of men chasing women only to get played, while the men who didn't do half the work got the benefits. Because when you're really into a man, you don't make him jump through all these extra hoops. And when you do, it's because there's some other trauma maybe you haven't resolved, all right? So the goal ain't about making anyone chase, why this one's doing that. It's about, are we in alignment? Or do we have a connection? Can we build something together here and make it healthy and successful?
I've heard a lot of women say that men want to be chased now, and I do feel like we need to define what chasing actually means. Because I don't doubt that there are some guys who do want women to basically do all of the work in the early dating phases. But if I can just make an observation, a lot of the guys that I've seen who are like that are men who have like a smorgasbord of options. So I don't think that that's necessarily a gender thing. I think that's more of a person who has a lot of options thing. A lot of times when people have more options in the dating pool, their standards do kind of naturally increase. But I also think that some women are also defining this as just a man who wants more equal reciprocity, a man who doesn't want to have to put in all the initial labor, all the upfront effort without even really knowing if a specific woman is into him. And yeah, it is definitely true that men did that that more in the past. They were more willing to court women, but also society is changing. Gender roles are changing. And because of modern dating and because of dating apps, it just makes it less of a desire to give all that upfront investment, because it was different in the past when you were meeting from mutual friends or you already had established a lot of rapport with the person to the point where if you went on a date, you knew there was at least a higher chance that it would actually result into something. Whereas, yeah, a guy might have wanted to pull out all the stops and court a woman, but if you're a guy and you're going on 5 dates a month or something like that, and they just keep on ghosting you, or they always have backup options. Now, I know that there's plenty of guys who also have backup options too, but I'm just saying that this is kind of the way that modern dating works these days, to where a lot more people are less invested initially because it's just a bad ROI. You're going to spend hundreds of dollars. You're going to pull out all the stops, bring, flowers on a date, thinking that you can impress and woo her. And then she's already talking to 3 other guys or has another date. Or like I said, I'm sure that it is the same for women, but because men are kind of expected to be the initiators in the beginning, even though I absolutely acknowledge that it is more dangerous and there's more safety risks in going on a first date with a man that you don't know, I think we can hold space for the fact that it is equally true that if a man is expected to initiate and carry the conversation and make her laugh, and then he has to pick the place, he has to plan the date, he has to put in the effort to come up with a creative idea, then he has to compliment her, he has to make her feel like it was worth it, he has to pay for the date, initiate and showcase why he should be chosen. I also don't agree with the notion that you should be masculine until you meet someone who brings out your feminine, because I do think that what you kind of more naturally lean is going to show in who you are. And I do think that sometimes women, and this is just my opinion, they don't always understand the difference between being feminine and having boundaries. And I do think that we can also blame society for this, because I do think a lot of times being feminine tends to correlate with being soft-spoken, and sometimes people view somebody who is kind, who is, somewhat agreeable, who isn't confrontational, as not really having boundaries and being able to be trampled over. But I'm somebody personally who, I do think that I have a masculine side, but I do realize based off of first impressions that because of my aesthetics, the way that I dress, and also kind of my voice and the way that I vocalize my thoughts and stuff like that, that initially a lot of people view me as more feminine. And so even though I personally prefer a more egalitarian relationship, when it comes to guys who have actually tried to hit on me and stuff like that, I actually do get a lot more upfront interest from men who are more masculine. But I will say even with that I am a very boundaried person. I am somebody who I will be kind to you, and if we don't align on things, then that's completely fine. And I do think there's a certain art to be able to be feminine if that is what you choose, and be able to express your thoughts with empathy and to be kind to people, to not vocalize all of your thoughts with like a lot of aggression, while also being able to have boundaries and to kind of let your actions do the talking. Because I'll communicate if I want something done differently or if I need something different in a dating situation or a relationship. But if somebody doesn't meet my standards after I've already vocalized them, then I simply walk away. And I'll even walk away in kindness and just say, hey, like, we don't align on this. And if they keep trying to test my boundaries, then I just cut them off entirely. But I personally feel like yelling at somebody or even saying something in a very like adversarial tone, oftentimes it just makes people defensive. It doesn't actually get your point across. I think that having your actions match your standards is much better than kind of just like screaming your standards or saying your standards in an adversarial tone, but then still continuing to put up with behaviors that you might not want. And to end this off, I will say that I do think that being chased as the proxy for the type of men that you will entertain, a lot of times it actually filters for bad options. And I say this because there are now a certain subset of guys who know how to chase very hard in the beginning, and they will put in all that initial effort. They know the playbook, they know the things that women want to hear, and so they will go into the dating scene and they'll be able to monopolize all of these options because they know how to sort of sell women this fairy tale. Whereas I do think that if more women were willing to put in more equal reciprocity, be willing to express interest in a guy first and not always expect him to put in all this effort, especially when we're talking about like meeting on a dating app. There are some guys who they'll put a bunch of effort in the beginning to be able to sleep with you, and then after they sleep with you, they're not as interested anymore. And I'm not saying that you should entertain guys who just want to put in absolutely no effort or who are just saying like, hey, meet at my house. But I do think that if a guy is like, hey, let's go to Froyo or something, obviously this is up to you. I'm not saying to accept things that you don't want to accept. I'm just trying to give a different point of view, because I do think there are a lot of genuine guys who would be totally willing to go all out with a courtship and, spoil a woman that they're interested in or showcase with his words and actions that he's genuinely interested. But there are some men who are not going to do all of that until they actually feel like they passed a vibe check with you and they genuinely see themselves being in a relationship. Whereas there's a certain subset of player guys where they'll pursue pretty much anybody. Them being able to say what you want to hear, or if they have a lot of money, being able to spend a little bit of money. It's kind of like tricking ain't tricking if you got it, you know? If you're a guy who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars and you have all this disposable income, you might be impressed by him spending hundreds of dollars on you on a first date, but the person who makes $60K, he might have spent the only money that he had this week on a date. And like I said, everyone's standards are theirs to have. So if you want to date a guy who makes more money or you have certain standards for courtship, that's totally up to you. I'm just giving a different perspective because I do feel like sometimes the expectations, especially in the very, very, very early dating phases, I do think that sometimes it filters for not the best guys. But all of this is just my opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Bye.
I mean, stuff was a lot cheaper back then. I think we're glossing over the fact that a lot of these ladies were more receptive. I mean, God dog, these women were dropping handkerchiefs. There was creativity there, right? There was some sort of banter. Like there was some sort of, okay, well, you know, I shouldn't have to go on for a long time, right? And even if it was okay, because you hear some of these stories where a man be chasing a woman throughout his high school years and she finally crack. You don't hear about it in the newspapers. You don't hear about it on social media. It was silent. Leave me alone, this, and this. And you really don't hear about it until they old and gray, until they telling their story. So a man, when you tell a man on social media, get out of my face, it's done. When you tell a man, I'm about to clown you, and he moves around, it's done. There's not going to be any more chasing. There's not going to be any more courting. Nothing. It's done.
I only date hot people, and I do mean certifiably hot people. And before you say anything, if a man can do it, so can I. Because anything he can do, I can do better.
Shut your stupid ass up. You know what? I ain't even gonna be all the way negative. You know what? How do I get this level of delusion? Like, for you to live an objective reality, to get online and say something like that is completely false. You know it's false. We all know it's false. But you had the confidence and the goal to get on this app and say that with the utmost conviction. How do I get that level of delusion? Because your life must be so blissful if you can live in that level of delusion confidently and say that online, knowing that nobody knows and knowing everybody knows that's not true.
Anything he can do, I can do better is a crazy statement coming from you. That is a diabolical statement coming from you. I mean, we all got to know our place. I had to know mine. And you got to know yours. Men got to know theirs. I'm not the best looking out there, man. I'm not even close. Probably a 4 or 5. I'll probably get away with a 4 or 5 on a good day. I mean, suited and booted. Bruh, come on now.
I hate the fact that black men don't never want to take you on a date to get to know you. And mind you, I'm talking to this white guy right now, and he's willing to take me to the movies or out to eat, willing to get to know me and see how it goes. And it's sad that black men don't want to do that.
How y'all be having babies and ain't never been on no date? That's what I don't be understanding. Somebody got to make that make sense. What level of low self-esteem do you have to have where you willing to carry a baby for a man, risk your life and possibly die for somebody who wouldn't even buy you no food? Now, I told y'all about including all black women on your issues because you laid on your back and took D on an empty stomach. Don't put us all in that. Y'all don't be embarrassed getting online and exposing how low your standards are. You think it looks bad on black men? No, it looks bad on you. Because the first thing I did after you said that you ain't never been took on a date is that I went to your page and then I seen a baby. And I said, now how could that be? How could one achieve a child with no date? How does just want to achieve that. Then you set up and brought up a non-black man saying that he'll take you to the movies and out to eat, but he ain't actually done it yet. Why are you talking about something that hasn't happened? You don't even know if that's going to happen. Do he know you got a fresh baby? Because if I was talking to you and I knew you had a baby as fresh as you got, I'd send you back to your baby daddy and make him take you on a date. Right? You set up and had a baby for somebody who wouldn't take you on a date? Oh no, you need to go run that back and make that man take you out. At the very least, he still owe you a meal.
You know what's interesting? I always hear women say, be mean to men. I saw my grandma be mean to men and she always had men around her. My granddaddy kissed the ground she walked on and da-da-da. Like, they always have these glamorous stories of these men who groveled at these so-called mean women. But one thing that women don't think about is the type of men that were after them. Yeah, her bills might have been paid. She may have had some money and some stuff. But did you even think, would you have wanted your granddaddy? Have you have wanted the men who were being doormats to her? Like, I don't think it's attractive to be dominant over a man. Like, I like being respected by men. I like to be cherished by men. I like to be treated delicately by my man. But I have no bone in my body that wants to dominate or be mean to him. Being mean makes you ugly. You know, when you're mean, you get wrinkles. When you are hostile, when you are just an evil little wench, it makes you ugly. So although you guys glamorize these stories about your grandmothers and your mamas who used to do X, Y, and Z for men, how is it working? How is that working for you? Do you even want the men that you are so-called mean to? Because the women that I know, and feminine women, if you can run over a man, it's very unattractive. Y'all don't like these beta males, so y'all say, but y'all want to run over, because the ones y'all want ain't gonna let you run over them. Ain't gonna let you be just mean to them. So I'm confused. Unless they just want to hit. So can somebody explain it to me? Because I'm so confused. How is it working out?
Well, why are women so quick to assume the worst?
Because of all the stuff that has happened with men over years.
So how are men and women ever supposed to get together if women assume the worst in men?
That's something for a man to figure out.
Well, doesn't that also affect women if women don't want to die lonely old cat ladies?
No, because I can easily find a man that will approach me in a good way where I won't feel creeped out, where I want to talk to him and stuff, rather than a man just being like all up in my face.
So would you say that women have more advantages in the dating market than men do?
No, men have more of an advantage.
Well, didn't you say that don't women have the privilege of being more picky because they have more options?
No, I think men are probably the pickiest when it comes to picking a girl.
How so?
They always want a girl that fits the now, like she has to look like what everyone else wants, rather than just a really pretty woman that might not be like top tier of what Instagram standards are.
When did women become such losers when it comes to something as simple as making a delicious meal for their man, or just giving him basic respect? Now, I know the word loser sounds harsh, but there's no other word to describe someone who brings nothing to the table except an attitude and entitlement. No man deserves this, they comment to beautiful women cooking beautiful food, whilst they sit comfortably in their house or apartment that was built by a man, on their technology that was created by a man, and enjoying their freedom that was fought for by men. And if a man who has committed his entire life to you doesn't deserve something as simple as a delicious, warm, homemade meal every single night, then what exactly does he get out of marriage? Now you may be ready to comment, gosh, what a pick me. And frankly, go ahead. It doesn't offend me, especially since there's a reason that I've been picked. And picked by an amazing man at that. A man that I would cook anything he desires simply because he's my man.
You want to know what's so funny? Whenever these homeless talking wigs make these videos, there's always, because they're in the comments talking about how they be cutting guys off of this, and there's always somebody in the comments who was like, who said she didn't have it? I don't know. Maybe because she's begging for it. Let me ask you a question. Whenever you're in your local city and you pull up to a stoplight and you see a homeless person right there with the cardboard sign and he's asking for money, what makes you think he ain't got it? Exactly. Because he's standing right there begging. Standing right there asking for it. And then it's crazy because these same talking wigs will get on the internet and then tell us about how motherfuckers ain't shit. No, you just are dealing with somebody who doesn't like you and you don't even like them. You just like what they can do for you. And then you're surprised when y'all don't work out and he treats you like shit. Duh, he don't like you. You don't even like him. Like, it's 2026 and we're still brainless out here. And I just don't understand.
There's 2 exits to the left. My nearest exit is still in front of me. Well, that guy looks kind of suspicious. Make sure he doesn't get too close to her.
Maybe we don't tell him I'm getting fast. That's his person home.
Feel like it's a lot of judgment in that video because it's not my responsibility to keep me safe. You done had custody of me since I was 18 years old. I am your problem. You need to act accordingly. Now, if I'm out by myself, it's different. But
oh, so you can protect yourself when you by yourself, but when you with me, you can't protect yourself?
listen.
What am I listening to?
My rational thinking.
Let's rationalize this. Go ahead.
You are the protector. That's literally your job. I'm the nurturer. I am nurturing my spirit and you. I am keeping myself cool, calm, collected. I'm not stressing out. I'm not worried about no exits. I'm not worried about the stranger down, a couple folks down. I'm cool. So that when we get home, I can nurture you from being in protector mode all day. Now, if I'm in protector mode and you're in protector mode, that means we both need to decompress when we get home. That's crazy. One of us has to be in a calm state to help regulate the other person.
I like how you rationalize this. I don't like the turning off of the brain. I need that brain to be fully functioning. I keep telling you, it's got to be on.
I want y'all to know we finna go out after this and my brain will be off. It'll be slightly on, okay? Because we're gonna have the kids with us. So I'm gonna have to have it on a little bit. It's 2 of them. Got to be able to watch them, right? Because that little one, he don't like to pay attention. His brain be off. It'll be on a little bit. But for the most part, honey, I'm gonna be in La La Land, living my best life. That's without a care in the world.
That's fine.
A lot of these women, man, they want to cut their brain off and offload the responsibility to you. And, I don't think a lot of men have a problem with it if it's worth it. That's where, the caveat is, if it's worth it. I think Allison Armstrong, Miss Allison Armstrong, her husband passed away. Man, listen, go check out her content, dude. Go check out her content. Bruh. Powerful, impactful. I know if you've been watching my channel, I know you didn't seen it because I done had 11 of them in my videos. Bruh, listen, she was saying something similar when a man, I think she was asking, do you want to get married? And the man says, yeah, to the right person. Yeah, if it's the right person. Right? So men are not against a lot of this stuff that's going on in relationships. They might not like it, but if it's worth it, a man will do it. You got dudes climbing mountains, crossing oceans. If it's going to help my family, if it's going to get my family to where we need to be. That's the reason. Obviously you got a lot of different reasons, but men exploring, who the heck decides, let's go build a plane? Let's go build and test a plane. And now you see these things flying overhead in the air. Men did that. Hey, man, if it's worth it, we'll go do it. You gotta, let's build a car that runs on electricity. Who thinks of that? Hey, man, if it's worth it, we'll do it. If I believe in it, I'll do it, man. You got businesses and buildings, brothers out here building skyscrapers. Who does that? Men do. Hey, man, if it's money to be made, if I feel like it's worth it, I'll do it. I'll do it, man. Hey, which one of you with me? I ain't doing that, man. You tripping. Hey, man, I got this brother over here. He'll do it with me. Yeah, man, I'll do it. Both of y'all crazy. Shh, man, we about to get paid. We about to get paid. That's it. That's it. Men do a lot of stuff. It's just nowadays, y'all haven't really, modern women, some of these ladies have not really made a good case as to why men should continue doing the things that granddaddy did, that daddy did, uncle did. Why would I? Big homie did. Why would I keep on doing that if I'm risking more and the risk is greater? The consequences are greater than any upside. that you're more likely to come out a loser than a winner. Why would a man continue to do that? It'd be one thing if it was 50-50 or even like 40-60. But nowadays with these modern women, it's like 90. It's like 90-10.
Wait, how many shoulders are there? 1, 2, 3.
That optionally chopped trend just proves that y'all think that y'all ugly without makeup and wigs. Because when y'all do these transition videos, it go from just a video of you in your natural state with no makeup and no wig, looking how you actually look, and you refer to that as chopped. So you think you ugly unless you put that stuff on. Because now the next transition is you with the makeup and the wig on, and that's when you feel attractive. But we've been saying that. We've been saying that. Then when y'all shape shift, y'all whole personality and that self-love and all of that confidence that y'all be having, you don't get that until you put that uniform on. It's like when you put that uniform on, it's like you be activating. Right? Y'all know how y'all be saying like the bad bee be activating? Yeah, for real. Because up until that point, you don't even feel attractive. You think that you're ugly with the face that God gave you, with the hair that's on your head. You think you ugly. You think you chopped. And you don't find your own self attractive until you put that uniform on. Y'all girls got to work on that. That's not good.
Most men are deeply unattractive because of Mother Nature. And
Yo, what's going on with you, yo? This is like my third time seeing a video of you talking about looks. Now, I'm not going to talk about your looks, but to be completely honest with you, this should be a touchy subject for you. I don't know, because what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? The first time I seen you make a video talking about people's looks, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, I'm going to be chill. It's 2026. I'm a new person. You feel what I'm saying? But, like, this can't keep going on. This has to you need to stop. Stop this. Anyway, I love all of you. Jesus loves all of you. I think all of you are beautiful in your own way. I think all of you are beautiful in your own fucking way. I see that video got a lot of views. Like, are you trying to take advantage of the spotlight that you have right now? Which I'm not mad at, but can you please stop making videos talking about people's looks? Please. And then when people talk about you, now you want... Don't do that. Don't do that. I still love you, though. Peace and blessings.
Am I overreacting about my nanny family having sex during the day? Hi, everyone. I'm a full-time nanny for a stay-at-home mom with an 8-month-old baby.
Stay-at-home mom. All right, we'll move on.
The baby is honestly perfect, so sweet and happy, naps great. The mom and dad are both amazing employers. They're super nice to me. The mom gets me Starbucks and acai bowls, even makes me lunch sometimes. I make $32 an hour with great benefits in my medium cost of living area. So overall, this is a dream job.
Sounds like a cream job. I'll let you finish.
Here's my only issue. I'm pretty sure the parents are having sex during the dad's lunch break. Maybe every day or every other day. They go to their room and I never see anything inappropriate, but sometimes I hear what I think might be the bed moving. It's not loud or anything, just enough to make me realize what's going on. Afterwards, her hair is messy, clothes changed, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least try to hide it.
I know they're married adults and it's their house, but it still makes me feel a little uncomfortable since I'm taking care of their baby. They're not being disrespectful or obvious, but it just feels weird. Would it be totally out of line to ask them not to do that while I'm working? Or am I overreacting and should I just let it go?
This is tricky because on one hand, it's disgusting and weird and violates everything HR. On the other hand, maybe they're trying to make another baby to keep employing her.
Oh, don't hurt your income stream.
You know?
We do get an update.
So a woman in the comments said, I think I've heard this story before, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, she ends up sort of confronting the mom and gets fired, which she would need to be, because unless they're being obnoxiously loud, that's kind of why they hired you, so you can take care of the child while they do other things. Now, like I said, if they being obnoxiously loud, bruh, I'm okay with y'all doing that, but can you guys kind of like, I get it. Somebody else mentioned, why don't you go on the other side of the house, or the other end of the house? Instead of making problem solve.
Name one thing that women created. 8 billion people.
Men don't really have a say in who gets picked.
Well, that's just amazing. Amazing that some individuals actually have convinced themselves of that and are trying really hard to convince other women of that. But gentlemen, just in case you didn't hear them the first time, apparently you have no choice in who chooses you to be in a relationship with. You are the real pick-me's.
And they never really did. They had to force it to be that way. So always remember that. At the end of the day, the right type of man will want to be picked.
The worst part about this is there's a lot of individuals that have actually convinced themselves of this type of nonsense. That is because a lot of women out there continue to view themselves as the prize in the relationship, when it couldn't be further from the truth. It is neither the man nor the woman that is the prize in the relationship. It is the relationship itself that is the prize. And until a lot of individuals actually wrap their minds around that concept, many of their relationships are going to continue to fail.
Not everybody's meant to be in relationships, and here's a prime example.
I just saw the most heartbreaking comment section. There was a lady that said, for every man screaming, my wife doesn't want to touch me anymore, there is a wife hiding in the closet.
Now, at first, I thought she was talking about abuse, but she's not.
And I immediately understood that she was saying that the wife was hiding from the man, trying to get dressed or whatnot. I immediately understood that.
Have we fallen so far as a society that we are now saying we don't want our husbands to look at us? Is that where we are now?
There are plenty of women in that comment section saying how they lock their doors when they get in the shower, how they go in another room to get dressed to change their clothes. They're so sick of being objectified and being touched without consent and having their boundaries violated.
Ladies, why are we marrying men that make us feel uncomfortable? Why would you do that? Why would you marry a man that you do not feel comfortable changing around, being naked around? I really need us to think consciously about these decisions because they affect the rest of your life. So ladies, how are we marrying a man that makes us feel uncomfortable? How are we marrying a man that doesn't respect our boundaries? How are we marrying a man that we don't feel safe around? What? And even if that grew over time, even if at one point you did feel safe, you did feel comfortable, and then he started changing in some type of way, just leave. Like, what are we talking about? Why are you staying married and then locking the door when you get in the shower? That's insane. This is a prime example of the type of woman that needs to stay single. I'm going to need you to go to therapy and figure out how you got yourself into this situation. And then maybe don't be in a relationship for a while. Just stay to yourself.
If there was some unwritten law that black people had to open the door or give up their seat, would that be racist?
Yes.
Yes. So why is it when that same unwritten law is applied to men, it's not sexist?
It's applied to women too.
Yes, well, yeah.
Well, I mean, aren't men typically the ones expected to give up their seat and
No.
hold the door?
I've never seen it.
Show me which one of you is going to be a gentleman. Why? Why are you not being a gentleman to me? What did I do to you that I caused you to not be a gentleman to me? I don't even know you.
Honestly, men have made that standard for themselves. And women don't ask you exactly to give them your seat at the time. It's going to be like if you get on a bus, you're going to see, please stand up and offer your seat for disabled people, but you won't see that for, women and children or anything. And so I feel like men do that to themselves. If they wanted to give up their seats for women, that is completely on them.
Men made the standard for themselves? Man, what do y'all be talking about? I just be saying anything. What are you talking about right now?
How much did the ring cost?
$18,000.
You were being judgmental on the rings, Miss Williams?
I just wanted the best of the best. I'm used to the finer things in life, and he knew that since the beginning.
Oh, it's gorgeous. My goodness. When he gave you this ring, Miss Williams, were you pleased with it?
I was. I'm not going to lie. I was super over the moon, and I was really ecstatic about us actually going through with the engagement.
What happens to the engagement?
I called it off.
You called it off?
Yes.
Now, why did you call it off?
One day I was checking the mail, and I saw a letter from a fertility clinic. He was donating his sperm for money.
To buy the ring.
To buy the ring.
It just hit me.
I got
$400 a week. I would go 2 times a week to the sperm donor, just and put $1,000 each paycheck.
You were upset that that meant that he had been at the sperm bank.
Yes.
And you didn't know about it.
Yes, Your Honor. I feel betrayed. I did deserve to know. I just can't sleep at night knowing that there's a bunch of random potential children running around. Like, it doesn't fit my lifestyle. I just felt disgusted by the whole donating sperm behind my back.
That is crazy. She wants expensive stuff. And he tried his best. And then she's like, no, you worked hard, but I can't accept this. I don't want to be a part of this.
I messed up talking to my husband. I over-explained something when I shouldn't have. So we were by my mom and she needed some pictures hung up. And so my husband asked me, where do you want the first one to be? And my answer was that, well, I think we need to stagger them, but they can't go all in a row because she doesn't want them like that because otherwise you can tell the differences in them. But I think the first one needs to go the highest and then the last one needs to be the lowest. And we should probably have like 6 inches in between each one. And I think we should center them on the wall like this. And he just looks at me and is like, where do you want the first one? See, I answered wrong. The way that I should have answered would have been to just think about it for a couple of seconds and then say, I think the first one should go here. Women have this thing of over-explaining, and I'm not perfect, and I do it every now and then too, and I got to catch myself in it. But men don't care about all the little details of why something is important. They just want to know what it is you want and what the answer is. So ladies, do not over-explain when he asks you a question. Just tell him the clear, concise answer.
I don't know if it's wrong. I think some people, like somebody in the comments said, they're processing, they're thinking out loud. So I don't know if I would call it wrong. He just asking you a simple question, so let me know exactly where. I hear you, so what do you want to do? So, yeah, like somebody in the comments said, I wouldn't necessarily say it's wrong. It's just, what exactly do you want?
Okay, girl, this is incorrect. Now, will every man you date ask you about your body count? No. Some men don't care, don't want to know. They just like, hey, as long as you clean, you're good. However, men do care about your reputation. They do care if you've slept with one of their friends. They do care if you've dated one of their friends. When a man likes you, the very first thing he does is he goes to his social media and he looks to see, and he asks the group chat, he asks his homeboys, does anybody know her? And if you think I'm lying, men chime in the comments, ask some of your male friends. Men, if they're dating somebody serious, especially for marriage, they are not going to just marry and bag up any old random woman without doing a little investigation. Men pay very close attention to the woman that they're into. They won't say anything, but they're watching everything. They're watching how you speak, how you carry yourself. If you're a big flirt, if you for everybody, they're watching you. And the Bible also tells us that our reputation is better than gold. In my job as a coach and as a big sister on this platform, I'm trying to give women as many options as possible because the church circles are already small. The exclusive circles are already small. The high value men that y'all want, those circles are already small. So you don't want to mess up your chances by meeting your potential husband by dibbling and dabbling and doing too much too soon with the wrong man. You want to be able to keep your options open. So although some people may not care, you don't even want to chance it. It's not that deep. Just don't do it. But men do care. Ask them. They care.
So a woman in the comments said, men don't ask your body count. They observe behavior and mindset to determine if you have a 3 or 4 mentality. Some people are getting it. Some women are getting it.
So you know how all the girlies are going around saying, oh, having a boyfriend is embarrassing? When are we going to talk about getting a divorce being embarrassing? And I'm not talking about the divorces that are initiated because of infidelity and abuse. Totally different. But a lot of you women walk around like getting a divorce is some sort of badge of honor when it's not. Like, a lot of you women would rather get a divorce with your husband out of your own selfish needs and desires than mend the relationship. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, what happened to having loyalty and values and morals?
A guy in the comments said, Lord, please send your angels to protect this young woman. Give her strength and keep her safe. Wrapped in your loving arms. Bestow on her blessings throughout her life that will be immeasurable. Amen. I agree.
Wait, how many shoulders are there? 1, 2, 3. Why should a man take a baddie serious?
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9-to-5, on a, you got a good job. My bitches is paid. Okay. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take a baddie serious? Because we pay the fucking bills.
Why should a man?
Because we pay the bills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to is,
yeah.
It's not necessarily about money all the time. And I think...
No, you said that.
No.
You said, what is it that makes a male...
No, I will say it again.
Okay, say it again.
Why should a man take a baddie serious?
I just told you. When they make more money and they're the boss.
That's cool.
She's the boss. And so he makes... So what I was trying to refer to is he makes more money, right?
Right.
But she's the boss.
Okay, take money out of it.
No, it was money out of it. He definitely makes more money than her. She's still running that shit.
Okay, but take financials out of it.
Okay, so
what are the qualities that a baddie may bring to the table?
She's definitely more popular than him. I don't even know who the fuck he is. So
this was hard to watch. She just sat up there and said a whole bunch of nothing. Or in other words, a baddie don't bring nothing to the table. Their money and their popularity is their identity. Outside of that, they have nothing to offer except for drama and headaches. All they know how to do is twerk and fight. This whole baddie era is a scam. All that hype with zero substance. Keep it a buck. These baddies, they don't bring peace. They don't bring ambition. They don't bring support. They bring problems. Their entire personality revolves around being looked at. The moment that attention stops, so does their identity. They think money and followers equals value. But anybody can go viral. Anybody can shake their ass on TV. That's not talent. A BBL can cover up an empty spirit.